I know a lot of y'all don't want to talk about this, but I would love to hear from you. And please subscribe if you haven't, because a lot of people watch the video, but they don't subscribe. I would love for you to join my community. I talk about all different topics, mainly to encourage you to do better in your life. I share my experiences and I talk about the current presidency that's in office and how it affects your life. So if you're interested in any of that content, please, please, please subscribe. And let's get into the video. So I'm making this video because I live in California and I work at night, and I see a lot of women out, on Figueroa. If you know what Figueroa is in LA, it's a prostitution strip. A lot of women, a lot of men too, out there selling their bodies, and they're young people. So I want to know who told us, predominantly black people, because I see a lot of black young women out there, to put our kids out at a certain age. And I'm asking this because I've talked to some of these young ladies and they're like, oh, my mom put me out. She said I was 18 and, it was time for me to go. I'm like thinking to myself, why would you put an 18-year-old out? Honey, 18-year-olds don't know nothing. 19-year-olds don't know nothing. I wouldn't dare. I couldn't imagine putting my kids out that are young into a world where they know nothing about the streets. They know nothing about, some of these kids do know about the street. I have an open mind, okay? But my kids, they are suburban kids. They don't know about the street. They don't have my Chicago background. So they're not going to be able to respond to incidents in the street like I would, because I have a different upbringing. I have a different life. Back then, times were different. But we living in a whole nother different world. You better put your kids out here, honey. They be getting trafficked, drugged up, and everything to do whatever. I couldn't imagine putting my children out in the street to fend for themselves. My parents didn't do it. I left home because I wanted my own space. And when I got a taste of it, I was like, oh, I like this. I have my own freedom. I ain't got to do what my parents tell me to do. Now, this is just my experience, but I want to hear from you in the comment sections. If you are a parent, if you have this type of child at home, you have children, what are your plans? What are you trying to do to make their lives better as a parent? So a background of my upbringing. I'm from Chicago and the West Side. And that's all we had was our little communities. I was raised in a threeplex, in New York and places like Chicago and Detroit. They have 3 or 4 story buildings and basements. So in my home, it was I'm going to say adopted mom, because she wasn't my mom. She had her own kids but she was married in my family to my uncle. My mom was in a wheelchair all my life, but she still was there with me, just on a different floor. She wasn't able to take care of me because she was in a wheelchair. And I knew all my brothers and sisters. It was just a lot of us in the home. And my parents that I knew, and even my mom, they used to teach us how to write checks and go over stuff that they wanted us to do. Get a job. When you get a job, you got to pay taxes. You got to do a lot of the stuff that they instilled in us. I still do it today. So a lot of things start at home. You don't have to put your kids out, because this is the thing. What are your plans for when you retire? A lot of elderly people are by themselves because they put their kids out to fend for themselves. I can't see myself putting my kids out, and all the time I've invested in their lives, showing them how to be adults and showing them how to be responsible. And I'm going to just give it all away to the streets, or have them going to a local shelter because they're a certain age? No, because black people, we are the only people that's doing it. I don't see a lot of Hispanic. I think I saw one Hispanic young lady out there. I didn't see any Asian women, but I'm pretty sure I don't know about every community. I'm pretty sure every community have their stuff. I just can't comment on what I see. And I have an open mind to every nationality have some type of dysfunction when it comes to children, upbringing. I'm aware of all of that, but I'm saying what I see right now, what's going on in California. I see a lot of black people putting their kids out. And one of the young ladies at work was like, my kids, they ain't staying certain. I was like, well, what are they going to do? Like, what are their plans? What are your plans to do? Where they're going to live? They don't have any skill. They don't know how to do anything yet. So why are you putting them out? Now, see if that's something that they want to do, but I just feel like you can have more together with your kids. You can teach them everything they need to know about life right at home. You guys can help each other build a foundation where whereas, okay, you pay the light and gas bills, I still pay the rent, or we can go half and half. You're still showing them how to survive when you're not there, versus putting them out here paying this high ass rent by themselves, buying up everything themselves, being self-sufficient, if you will, to give it all to somebody else. And you put in the work, you've raised them their whole life, and now it's like, okay, go give your money to somebody else. I know whole Asian family, I know whole Hispanic family, no matter the age, they're still at home, honey. They all stay in the same house. If you know where I'm going with, they are taking their monies, buying up everything, putting aside monies to build businesses and buy buildings and for you to pay rent. So if it makes sense of what I'm telling you, who's watching this video, I encourage you, Black people, Asian people, white people, whoever watching, you would do yourself a great service in keeping your child or your children at home. Now, I'm making this video because I see a lot of it in Black people, because my coworkers, no matter how much I don't fool with them, they still have conversations. Sometimes I hear them talk, and a lot of them still stay together in the house. They're not putting their kids out. Like one of my supervisors, he was like, oh, my daughter, she pays the light bill. My son, he pays the gas bill. They pay something. I want them to be sufficient. I make sure they saving their money and they're investing in their money, and I'm paying for their college, and they're taking steps to make sure their kids are not homeless. And that's what you're supposed to do. But not at 18, they're gonna be homeless somewhere in the shelter or getting trafficked or doing something that they don't want to do to survive. But as a parent, think about this. And I want you, and I'm encouraging, because I would never put my teenage kids out. They still 18, teen at the end, 19, teen at the end, even when they're 21. Now, if they want to leave, that's something different, but I still have to prepare them for being out here by themselves. Because, honey, I pay my own bills, and I know what it is to be an adult. So I would encourage, and especially right now that Donald Trump is in office, honey, people are getting laid off their job. That's another video that I got later on in the week. I do a video a day. Sometimes I try to do 2 videos a day. It's people getting laid off from their job. Seniors are not nobody is getting into funding no more. Honey, we have to come together. It's a village now. It's taking a village. I'm not putting my kids, I can't see myself putting them out, letting somebody else get the monies that they're bringing in, whatever it is. And I've invested in their life, their whole life. Whether we can come together and get us a 2-story building or a house and have somebody else rent it out. That's what y'all need to be working toward. Building something together. To me, that's where you get a foundational wealth starting with your kids. Showing them how to be sufficient. Not showing them how to be on food stamps or Section 8 their whole damn life. That's not showing them nothing good and positive, depending on the government. And then when you get of age, or when you get 10 years of your life pass by, you working at McDonald's, and there's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's. But a lot of these jobs are stepping stones, if you will. Remember, I told you guys in my food stamp video, some people didn't watch it, but I'm telling you now, if you watch it, I used to be on Section 8. Okay, you can't tell me nothing about food. I used to be on food stamps in Section 8 when I had kids, when I was in college. But I didn't stay on it. It's the stay on for me. You don't have to be a product of your environment. There's no blueprint and say, hey, you in Inglewood, or you in South Central LA, or the west side of Chicago, or the south side of Chicago, or, in the quarters in Detroit, or in the quarters in Texas. There's no blueprint to say that you have to stay in that rut. You can always get out of that. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't. You can always change. You can always break the cycle. Just because your mom and dad were alcoholics, that don't mean you have to be an alcoholic. Just because you grew up in poverty, that don't mean you have to stay in poverty. So you don't have to be a product of your environment. You can always get out of that. Again, if you have to encourage yourself to know, all I'm praying for is God to get me out of this, and I can do better. He'll help you, but you have to put in the work, honey. He ain't gonna just come down and do it for you. Your actions, your work, putting it in. But I see so many seniors out here homeless because they thought it was a good idea to tell their kids, you 18, get out. Now both of y'all home. It would just make sense to me to even try it. Your kids, unfortunately, they are a part of you. They're a part of your life. You had them. So why not help them build that foundation at home? Why not help them and encourage them to do better than their parents? I'm a parent. I want my kids' lives to be better than mine. I don't don't want them to have to go through the stuff that I went through, the struggles that I had to go through. I don't want that for them. I want their lives to be better. So all I'm saying is, if you put your kids out and they don't know nothing, they ain't gonna do nothing. I can't see them doing anything. Comment down below. I could be wrong. I'm going by what I see though. I'm going by what I see, not what nobody told me. And the women I've talked to that's out here selling their bodies, and the men out here selling their bodies. Well, my mom put me out because I'm gay, or my mom, they put me out, and this, that, and the other. Nobody's telling you. I'm not a licensed therapist, and I'm not telling you to accept anybody's anything. I'm just saying your children are an extension of who you are. That's all I'm saying. And if you could think about, man, when I get 65, I'm not going to be making the money I'm making now. When I retire, when I got to draw Social Security and all these different programs that might not even exist. We don't know if this stuff is going to exist, y'all. We can't depend on nobody but ourselves and our little families that we have. That's all we have to depend on. We can't depend on putting our money into this stuff. Not even 401ks and 457. They're a joke. I got a sister right now. You know where she living? I thought she was paying for her house. All this time I thought her house was paid for. She was renting that house, honey. See, you only can lie for so long. Now she got to move since she's retired. Now she got to move from that home that she was renting for 30 years now, which she could have bought a house and had some type of equity or something in the house. She got to move from that house to move to a low income apartment at her age because she can't afford anything. And she thought it was a good idea to put all her kids out. Now they all got families and husbands and no room for her. And you know what I mean? We can always change things and sit down and think about things. Nobody's doing this, black people, but us. We're the only ones that doing. This is why we collectively don't have anything. You got migrants coming over here illegally and legally. Again, the government that you guys have been putting into place all this time have been helping them out and not helping you do anything, but putting you on Section 8 and food stamps and low income and affordable housing, enabling you to not do nothing. You're not thinking about, okay, let me go get a degree. Let me go and I can go get a nursing degree. I can go do something with this and make my life better. I don't have to stay on this. This ain't for me to stay on. This is for me to do better. I can breathe now. I can have my low income and Section 8 apartment and breathe. But let me give me 4 years of this. And let me get in school and do something better. Let me learn a trade. Or let me start my own business. Let me and my kids, put our monies together and get something else. Do something better with our lives. That's all I'm saying. We can always do better because now is the time. Donald Trump is in office. There's so many videos I got on the stuff that he's doing and trying to do. These Republicans are about money and making you make your own money. I encourage you to, I've been encouraging you guys to start a YouTube channel. Everybody is unique and have something to offer this community. Somebody want to hear your story. Somebody wants to know what you've been through. Somebody wants to be encouraged. Somebody wants to buy your product. So get on YouTube and show people. Tell them who you are. Talk to them. You will get an audience. My channel is a small channel and I love it. And if it get big, I'll love it more. But I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have started talking about who I am and my experiences and things that my comment section to tell you is people saying, hey, you encourage me. Thank you. People want to hear good things. They gonna want to know that things are gonna be okay. But they don't know that if nobody tell them that because everybody don't have a mom and dad or a mom or a dad. Some people are just out here trying to do the best that they can. And I want you to stay encouraged and keep doing your best. I'm excited for you. I love that. I'm excited about it. Keep doing your best. But think about what I'm saying, parents. And I'm not trying to tell you what to do. This is not that video. I'm just saying I want you to think about who you're going to be at 60, 65. Remember the lady that I helped with all her groceries? Her kids were in another state, nursing home. You got to pay the nursing home. It's not free. I don't know any of them that's free. Everything has a price on it. So why not invest in your kids and say, hey, we can do this together. We can do everything. Let me teach you how to balance your checkbook. Let me show you how to pay your taxes. Let me show you how to do things. Take a class with your kid. Go to learn how to do tax. Learn how to do stuff to benefit your family. Take your kids with you. Hey, let's learn how to be entrepreneurs. Let's take a business class and learn how to run a business. You can do that with your kids and show them the way, a better way. That's all I want you to understand is just encouraging them to do better. Just being there for them to do better. I'm telling y'all, it'll change your life. I wasn't raised with my mom and dad sad. At 19, I left and I loved it. And I still had sisters and brothers that stayed. But what I'm saying is you don't have to stay if you don't want to. But I only moved out because I had a boyfriend, a boyfriend at the time. And, he was helping me. And that's a different story. If you got that story, leave a comment. Let's get the conversation started. I want to know what inspires you to put your kids out at that age, or what are they doing in their lives? How are you helping them? What changes that they have? Let's get it started in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next video.